Coming up on the Buckeye Guard, simulated disasters give National Guardsmen hands-on experience, from deadlifts to shuttle runs. The Army's new gender-neutral physical assessment test. Fishing for a hobby? How one Guardsman has been reeling in the professional leagues.
3 U.S. presidents served during the Civil War in the Ohio Volunteer Infantry, which would later be called the Ohio National Guard. James A. Garfield, the 20th president, was commissioned a colonel in the 42nd Ohio Infantry in August 1861. He would ascend to take the rank of Major General before resigning to take a seat in Congress. Rutherford B. Hayes, America's 19th president, was a member of the 23rd Ohio Infantry. Hayes was wounded 5 times, most seriously at the Battle of South Mountain, and was promoted to Major General in recognition of his bravery. William McKinley, the 25th and last president to have served in the Civil War, enlisted as a private and later served as a commissary sergeant bringing rations to the front lines. He was commissioned a second lieutenant in recognition of his service during the Battle of Antietam. Presidential examples of Ohio's traditions of service and leadership.
19 Ohio veterans were inducted into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame during a November 3rd ceremony at the Lincoln Theater in Columbus. John C. McCoy, an Ohio Air National Guard veteran, was recognized for his post-military achievements as a veterans advocate.
It's kind of difficult to express how you feel, but when you hear of all the accomplishments, achievements of the other nominees, awardees, it's really a great experience to be among those.
He was instrumental in founding the Military Officers Association of America Heritage Society, which oversees programs that have benefited thousands of service members, veterans, survivors, and their families.
Seaburn Task Force, comprised of both Army and Air National Guard elements from around the region, is designed to provide assistance to our nation's first responders should a chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, or high-yield explosive incident occur in the region. The task force is required to respond at a moment's notice, even while training.
From the time that we're notified, we report to our armory, and the model we follow is within 3 hours we send out an ADVON unit. During this time, we basically went a little bit out of the norm for ourselves when executing an exercise whereby we kept most of our equipment packed up so we could be able to respond within 30 minutes. So a lot of the equipment we used out here, we kind of threw together with some Army equipment and kind of just went outside of the box.
The Kentucky National Guard, they brought up an additional trailer, which was an odd scenario for us. Normally we operate with one trailer, and the Kentucky National Guard was kind enough to allow us to work with their trailer and adapt and have to adjust to different scenarios on a decontamination footprint.
The non-standard training opportunity provided good experience for the soldiers and airmen of the task force, should they ever be required to respond in the unpredictable chaos of catastrophe.
It gives you a sense of what you may experience in a real-world situation, just letting you know what you're going to be out there doing once the real-world situation happens.
It really got people thinking. At first, it was a little confusing, but it really got us to, like I mentioned, think outside of the box and kind of like go about the mission in a way we haven't before. And actually, it gave us results that I think we're going to go back and actually try to implement in the future when we really pull out the real equipment and really go out and do an exercise where we're doing the full shebang.
I'm Tech Sergeant Mitchell Corbin. I work in the Aerospace Ground Equipment Flight for the 121st Air Refueling Wing. I support the mission by supplying serviceable aerospace ground equipment to the KC-135 Air Refueler. Here in Aerospace Ground Equipment, we use various units such as the hydraulic test stand, as you see here and here. This is the old version, this is the new version, and these hook up to the aircraft in order to pump fluid throughout the system. The Universal Hydraulic Mule is just one of the many powered pieces of equipment that the Air Force can use on any of its aircraft. This is a useful tool during an aircraft's inspection. The tow bar is just one of the many non-powered pieces that is utilized to move the KC-135 air refueler. My favorite part about my job is how I was able to turn something I was passionate about in my civilian world into a military career.
The Army has integrated a gender-neutral physical assessment tool to provide a better understanding of what career is right for a new recruit. The Occupational Physical Assessment Test, or OPAT, allows the Army to recruit soldiers and leaders from a larger pool of qualified people.
I decided to have our full-time staff take the OPAT. The reason for it was this is what our initial recruits have to take to assess their ability to qualify for certain MOSs or military occupational specialties. And I thought it was imperative that we, as full-time AGRs, know exactly what our young recruits have to face coming into the military.
The OPAT's events and standards are established from the real-world physical demands required from soldiers in combat-related career fields and is intended to predict whether or not a recruit has the physical abilities to succeed in a combat occupation.
The test consisted of a deadlift, a broad jump, a weighted basketball wall sit throw, and then a sprint beep test. And I think it's going to put the right folks into the right branches to start with.
Military members have many interests. For Sergeant First Class Richard Wright, a lifelong passion for fishing has become something more.
I've fished my whole life. Fished with my dad, catfishing. We have a place up there at Lake Erie that we'd go, and we'd go up there every weekend that we could. Walleye was always my passion.
In 2010, he had the opportunity to fish alongside professional anglers at a tournament sponsored by the National Guard. That's when he made his mark.
So I fished as a co-angler for 4 years, and then this last year I actually switched over to the pro side.
In the military, Wright supervises the Ohio National Guard's retirement system.
One of the main things that I do is I take care of the retirees. This is a community, the military community, so making sure that everybody's taken care of and make sure that you're always doing the right thing to help other people out.
Whether on or off the water, Wright applies his military experiences to both.
And I think as far as the military, being patient, being accurate at what you do, and enjoy what you do, I think is the biggest thing, because if you're not enjoying it, then why are you doing it?
To see more exciting photos and stories of the Ohio National Guard, check out the new Buckeye Guard digital magazine, available now on our website.
To see more about the Ohio National Guard, go to ong.ohio.gov or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.